Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the parlour, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hello to those new subscribers that have come in the last week or so. Thanks for tagging along. Today is a bit of a special episode update on the Escher girls. Insofar as I wanted to show these little beauties off. So I have converted up a couple of additional heavies for my Escher. And you know I like a good kit bash, so these are probably some of the most ambitious ones I've ever done. This is the Elf Ranger from Blackstone Fortress box. And what my plan is to run you through how I've done each one of these conversions, and so before I spray them up and paint them, so people can actually see them before they ask the questions inevitably at the end. So the Blackstone Fortress Elf Ranger is a lovely model, but obviously it's very elven. So the first thing I did is remove the elf leg on this side, and then I removed the elf boot on this side. Then I didn't attach the backpack at all, and I removed both arms, just chopped them away. I wanted a heavy plasma, and the original Escher heavy plasma was the perfect size and scale, even if the casting's a bit old school now compared to the sharpness of the new ones. So the next thing I did was glue the heavy. Oh, hang on a second! I just noticed something I need to get rid of in there. A bit of stray green stuff. There we go. Good. The next thing I did, was glue the arm on, because that gave me my frame of reference. But then obviously getting an arm from the Escher girls to fit the arm was a real challenge. So I used the knife arm and cut away all the knife, just leaving the guard. And I used the guard section here to form the pistol grip. And then I cut the other end of the arm almost completely in half, just to left a tiny little piece of the elbow so I could glue it and bend it to the right angle. And then once it was bent, I re-sculpted the muscle in, and then I put a strip of armband over the top just to make it more aesthetically pleasing. Excuse me. What I did after that was build up the shoulder pads and the outside sleeveless area of the jacket on both sides. A particular shoulder pad on this side and then a sleeveless on this side to match the other minis. I glued the one of the spare lamps from the Escher set in, and I shaved off all of the Eldar detail on the cloak. This shiny surface is super glue, which has dried to make it very smooth for painting. The next thing I did was use a Space Marine Devastator heavy bolter pack, I think it is, and some plastic card, and I just built the back of that up and then glued it onto her back, cut straps to go around and underneath the weaponry to make it realistic, and then stuck some greeblies on and ran some cable from the Escher heavy, I think, from one side up here, and then just sculpted a bit of detail on. There's a little micro accent bead there you can't see, probably. You can see if I do that for a little indicator light that will be on it to show the packs on. And then I chopped up two of the Escher heavy spares I didn't use off the end of their weapons, and I stuck those kind of greeblies on just to make it look a bit more 40k. And then my friend Stuart Tomlinson sent me a kind of battered gang of Escher that he had attempted and then got bored with, which is where these lovely spare parts came from. So I've chopped one of the legs off the girls at the knee and then positioned it so she's a little bit more dynamic, as in moving and firing. And then I sculpted the upper half of the leg on. And then again, I've embedded micro accent beads, which are the things you get for nail art, if anybody doesn't know what they are. They're just tiny little glass beads they use to put texture on women's nails, but they're perfect for Games Workshop studs and stuff like that. I also, which you can't see now quite sadly, but I shaved away all of the chest armour and turned it into a six-pack and then drilled a belly button so I could have her as open flesh. And then up here you can see that I've shaved away all the additional Eldar detail and just left it looking like one of the Escher girls packs or chest armours. So I think, considering that was an Elven Ranger miniature, obviously I've transplanted the front of a boot on here and then sculpted the shoe. and everything else. I really liked the cloaked look, and I wanted a pretty kick-ass plasma heavy. So I don't know whether I'm going to do all this in kind of leopard print. That might be a bit too much, or a purple cloak to match the colour of the gang. I'm not sure yet. But I wanted to show her off. Let me know what your thoughts are. I think she looks pretty badass. We'll soon see once I've sprayed her up how seamless all the kind of green stuff work is. Where it's shiny, what I do is I paint over the top of all my sculpting with watered down PVA, because it helps to set the green stuff in place, but also it helps to add another layer to smooth it all off, and it gives you a good surface to paint on. So there's the first of the two. And the next one of the two I'm really particularly pleased with, because this was a bastard of a conversion. And this is the same, it's the same box set game. So this is the Acolyte from the Blackstone Fortress set. And this really was an ambitious conversion. So I'll just move the light so I can see a bit better. It's not reflecting too much off me. Right, so what I did here is, the first thing I did was shave down the little bone detail that was on it, and then stick a piece of sliced off bolter pistol grip, I think it was, just because I didn't want any kind of bone details on. I wanted it to look, military-esque or ganger-esque. Then I cut away both of the legs, completely removed those, and I cut away all of the Inquisition detail that was in here, and then obviously you can see I've resculpted all of that in. I added another lantern pack around the waist, and there's some more sort of Inquisition detail here, so I sculpted all that back in. And then here was the rosary bead type thing, so I shaved all that off and then sculpted that back in to form a lip for the end of the cape. Her backpack is brilliant, so I left her backpack pretty much as is. The problem is that she had all of the shoulder pads and stuff that were very Inquisition Aquila sort of heavy and stuff. So what I did is and also the front torso was different. So what I've actually done is completely sliced away the front half of the torso right down to the belt and cut inwards before I built the miniature. And then I chopped away all the top part of the arm, which is how it connects. And then I sculpted a new neckline and collar and rear armour to match the Escher girls. And then I sculpted in, hopefully it will come back into focus, I sculpted in 2 new layered shoulder pads over the top. And then at that point I was waiting, well obviously I set some more straps up ready to go, but I was waiting for it to dry. Then I sliced the torso off one of the Escher models that I got off Stuart. So underneath all that, probably you can't see because of the light, but that is an Escher torso. And then I glued it in, and then I sculpted the joins perfectly so it matches in terms of the neckline. You probably can't see again because the background is too tight, but it's the collar line is continuous and up to the Adam's apple. Well, not Adam's apple because it's a girl. And then I sculpted the back of the sort of flesh bit and the flak jacket, and then I put the straps on. So the straps I've done are 2 layered. The first layer is obviously going over the chest and around, but the second layer here is like you get on heavy GT packs, and it's a secondary support strap just to make it look more feasible and a lot heavier. I wanted it to look more rugged, to be honest. And I think she's going to look really fab painted up with all the flame and everything. Obviously I cut away the halo that she had around her head. I was toying with the idea of giving her hair and any number of ponytails, and actually I thought just one Escher without hair would probably look quite badass. So I kept the mask and everything else. I think she's a really good looking model. And then down here what I did is cut and shave off all the spiky bits off some of the boots of 2 of them, and then transplanted them and resculpted the legs in to give her the same sort of consistent footwear as the rest of the badass Escher girls. That was a lot more difficult than it sounds, trust me. And then what I need to do just to finish it off is to set some micro accent beads as like buttons in the top of these things and on top of the pack. And I thought I'd show you while I'm doing that kind of real time. So a little kind of drill bit. you just want to make a small indentation. It doesn't need to be anything too fancy. You don't want to pop the green stuff up. Okay, and then what we're going to do is get some super glue. Just really liquid stuff this, so I don't want to do it. Okay, I'm going to use a little piece of brass rod to help me to spot the super glue more precisely rather than it flowing everywhere. So just spot the super glue. And I'm going to use this clay sculpting tool. I'm going to lick it, and I'm going to take one of these little micro accent. I've just super glued my hand to the paper. That was smart, wasn't it? Just going to take one of these little micro accent beads. There's two on there. I don't want two. Fucking, can you believe I just did it again? How stupid is that? Right, micro accent bead. One second, just need to free all the glue on my finger, which is slowly burning and sealing my hand. What I'm doing now is I just fucked up the timing of that. Just quickly re-reaming the hole for the accent bead, and we'll try that again, as I just completely fucked that up. I'm sure that's the reason that so many people watch these videos, is the amount of times I fuck up. I'm just normal like everybody else. Okay, so a bit of glue. Let's try and do it a lot quicker this time. And then let's find a micro accent bead. There's one. Lovely. Okay, so hopefully when it focuses, focus. Okay, you can now see that there's a pop rivet in the top, hopefully reflecting the light. There it is. And that just adds a little final bit of transitional detail. So there we go. I'm going to go on and do the other four. That's it for these girls. Next time I'll be painting them. If you want to know how to make straps, by the way, use two thin pieces of plastic and then stretch out a piece of green stuff between and roll it out, wait for it to dry, and then cut them with scissors and glue them on. Dead easy. Actually, I should probably show you how the painting's going. I don't know if I've shown you the colour schemes. So this is the work in progress, obviously. So the girls have moved on a little bit since the last video update, and I'll need to do more videos on that. This is the world's smallest power weapon. It was a fucking nightmare to paint, but it turned out alright, so that's good. So I have done the hair off cam, and I'm starting to bulk in the green armour with just a brush at the minute, but I've got 22 of these girls to do, so that's going to take me some time. They did all the conversions and everything did come out really nice and seamless though, so just how we wanted them to be, so you can't see any of the conversion joins or anything else. They're going to look really nice, I think, hopefully. Okay, thanks for watching, see you soon, bye.